I was 16 and on the hunt for a new gaming PC on Craigslist. After landing my first job, I wanted to celebrate by treating myself to something special with my first paycheck. Every day after work, I spent time scrolling through Craigslist listings looking for a great deal. One day, I found a 3-year-old Alienware with pretty impressive specs listed for only $200. The description mentioned that the seller had recently upgraded to a new PC and no longer needed this one, although it was still in good working condition. I immediately sent a message to the seller, and he responded quickly. We exchanged a few messages before agreeing to meet the next day. He asked me to meet him at a grocery store parking lot at a.m. The location was quite far, so I suggested meeting somewhere more convenient halfway, but he kept giving excuses as to why he couldn't. He said he'd be busy all week and couldn't drive far, so if I wanted it, I'd have to pick it up near him. Although I was a bit frustrated, I still thought the deal was worth it and agreed to pick it up that morning. However, I almost decided to cancel after thinking it over more. But then, he sent a few videos showing that the PC was working and promised a refund if there were any issues, which made me feel more at ease. I went ahead with the plan, driving 35 minutes to the grocery store he mentioned. When I arrived at the parking lot, I saw a truck at the far end. It was the only vehicle there. The grocery store's lights were off, as if it was already closed. I thought the whole point of meeting at a grocery store was because it was a safe, public place, so this felt a bit off. After driving nearly 40 minutes, I decided to go through with it, hoping everything would be okay. I parked near his truck and got out. The man inside the truck leaned over and looked at me from the window without smiling or greeting, as if he was inspecting me. It was a very uncomfortable feeling. Then he got out. He looked older, around late 40s or 52nds, with thinning brown hair. From his appearance, I could sense something was wrong. I stood a few feet away, trying to keep my distance as he walked around and opened the back door. Inside, I could see the computer sitting on the seat, but not the one closest to us. It was on the other seat, further inside the truck. He then pointed into the truck and said I could take it out and check it. His hand was still on the door, and he just watched me, waiting for me to crawl in and grab it. I stood there awkwardly for a few seconds, shifting my gaze between him and the truck, before I noticed a small detail. The handle on the inside of the door he was holding open was missing. It didn't take a genius to figure out this was a trap. I quickly backed away and hurried into my car. He yelled for me to come back, but I pulled out immediately. The guy ran to his truck, and instead of following me, he drove off in the opposite direction. It was clear that if I had crawled into the back seat, he would have slammed the door shut behind me with no handle inside. It was obviously a trap. Unfortunately, I only had his email to report to the police, and there was no way to trace him. I just hope no one else falls for this disturbing Craigslist scam. I've checked a few times since then to see if his ad reappears, hoping to set him up for an arrest or something. So far, I haven't seen anything, but he might be using a different alias and trying to scam with another item. My advice is to stay away from Craigslist.